Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ladies Who Lead, ladies who are leading their life all the way live. We are here for our second in our series this evening with a wonderful woman. Her name is LaVon Featherstone, and she is quite phenomenal. She is a lady who is always minding her businesses, okay? She's not minding her own business. She's minding her own businesses. Just to name a couple, we have LF Management Group as well as Samaj Publishing, but she'll tell you more about that. I am so excited to have her with us this evening. I'm Dr. Renita, leadership strategist, and I am so excited to be with you and to share with you these wonderful women. So let's go ahead and kick it off. LaVon, welcome. Thank you for being with us this evening. And tell us about you and what you do.
Okay, so my name is LaVon. As she said already, I am the owner of Samaj Publishing, LF Management, and Women of the Heartbeat of the Community. Dr. Renita pulled me into this. When another one of us, asks someone to do something, and we can be of assistance, to help everyone, see the full picture, I'm with it. So whatever Dr. Renita wanted, so I'm here.
Well, I appreciate your willingness, even though I didn't have to pull but so hard. One thing I can say about LaVon is that she is the heartbeat of her community. She is the heartbeat of so many people. And because of her heart, she definitely gives and gives and gives beyond sometimes even what you would think would be her capacity. She gives anyway because she loves hard. But also don't cross her. Don't mess that up. Learn your lesson. Don't burn bridges if you absolutely don't have to. But we met in a very unique circumstance, and God just chose to keep us together. Even though I think LaVon was fighting it a little bit, but she can't get rid of me now. I am in her life whether she wants it or not. But if you could tell us a little bit more, especially about women, the heartbeat of the community.
Okay, Women of Heartbeat of the Community is a collective group of women that are seeking to empower. We believe that if we can help women be whole within themselves and whole within their communities, it could just branch out. So we unite to have different workshops in reference to self-esteem, entrepreneurship, but the most important thing is a safe environment. Whatever happens there stays there. Whatever we talk about there stays there. Most of the people that are part of this community are Christian women, so more than often we're having prayer meetings because we know that we can't always get through this on our own, and sometimes you just have to unite in prayer to be able to break some things off and to be able to move forward. And each one of us hold a piece to the puzzle, and if we connect, we can all see the big picture of a healthy community, by healing ourselves.
Healing ourselves through the use of other people, not in a negative way, but sometimes you have to utilize those in your village, those who become connected to you, utilize those resources, but understanding that it's a decision you have to make within yourself, and that's huge.
Yes, and someone to hold you accountable for what you're doing, and to show that women can unite in a positive way.
Yes.
Always to be in competition, but that we can also do it, as a collective body to be able to move forward.
That's awesome. Well, we're talking about Ladies Who Lead. I know part of your story, but I know everybody does not. So when you're thinking about what attracted you to leadership, or if you were ever attracted to it at all, tell us about that and the journey to your leadership place.
But we're going to be totally transparent here. I didn't think I was a leader until actually taking the Leadership Academy with Dr. Renita a few weeks ago. I just felt like I was doing what I could to help people, not necessarily lead people. I just believed that I was walking beside people and that we were moving towards something. And she opened my eyes to show that I was actually a leader in the things that I do outside of business, even, with being a mentor. I just believed that I was just walking beside someone. So leadership is a new title to add, to accept, She's laughing because I wasn't a very, let's say, easy student during this leadership academy. But I appreciate her for, helping me to, realize that leadership is personal.
Leadership.
It's personal.
Yes, it is. And as you are showing us, not everyone is attracted to leadership or, something that we're grasping for or want. But sometimes just living the way that you live, living out loud, living and being you will extract your leadership qualities, your leadership abilities and capabilities, whether you are trying to force it or not. So, yeah, so I thank you for accepting that part of you so that now maybe you can flourish in it more than you ever have before.
Did I have a choice in accepting it?
Yes, you, at the end of the day,
I'm just
free will is real. You had a choice. I wasn't trying to help you avoid the reality. My goal was to help you walk in your truth.
in an aggressive manner, but I appreciate you, Lee.
Another conversation for another day. But,
it's important, to have, to be able to see a leader, to be able to, get skills from them. So I appreciate you for being a true leader.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's also something that I didn't run towards, but I accepted way earlier in life. But, sometimes it's right there. For leaders, it's always right there. Whether or not you want to see it, whether or not you want to call it leadership, whether or not you want to accept it as being leadership, it's always right there. And someone else will eventually call you out on it because it's right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Try to hide it if you want to. It is not, it's like a fire. You can't hide a fire. Eventually, it's going to show one way or the other. You can't hide it.
Well, alrighty then.
So with your businesses, what propelled you to even start them and want to build them into more? Because you have teams in all three, don't you?
Yes, ma'am. So with the publishing company, I actually started it 15 years ago, and it all stemmed from the loss of my father. Um, he kept on saying that I should do something with my literary work, and I didn't feel like I wanted to put it in anyone else's hands. Especially back then, you had to have a literary agent to be able to maneuver things. And working with kids at a local college, I realized that our voice wasn't heard in a genuine way. So that's where the publishing company came about. And as the years went on, I realized that I was doing more outside of just publishing their books, but because Samaj is actually a family. It's not like just a regular publishing company. Once you're there, you're there. We care about you holistically, that you're producing a book, but that's your baby, putting it out into the world. So we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with the process as it goes on. And the management company just came because it was just a compliment to what we were doing through the publishing company. And Women in the Heartbeat of the Community, I just knew that I was surrounded by a group of women that helped me. So I wanted to share that with them, and it just branched out from there.
Wow. So all three of these definitely have your heart in them in a holistic way. How did you start to bring people onto your teams? How did you open up and allow them to take what you built and be able to execute pieces of it? Because I know that can be hard for some leaders.
It was in the sense of you never feel like people can execute things in the way that you would, especially with me not wanting to burden people. So I have another side thing is that, I can help people, but I wasn't really good at receiving help for a long time. So with the business, I understood that I needed help and that it was actually able to give younger people skills. So my first set of quote unquote employees were interns. So was able to help them have skills to be able to go out into the world and, simple things as being a file clerk and things like that. But as time went on, it was easier. It was easier because I realized that, like I said before, having each one of us having a piece of the puzzle to be able to see the big picture. And, I can't carry it all.
You couldn't carry it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's huge. And it also screams to what you were building and that it was needed and that it was good. Because things that aren't good don't grow to the point where you can't carry it anymore. That that they will die. And so what you were doing, how you were serving was good. And thus more people were attracted to it. You got more clientele. More people wanted to write books with you. They wanted to bring their babies to you. They wanted to bring themselves to you. They found a safe space with you. That's so important. Um, you spoke about starting the publishing company because and through the passing of your father and that propelling you to do that. When you are thinking about building and starting different things and attracting new people, what is it about you personally, that has really pushed you in those directions?
Wow, that's a deep question. I think the thing that is that I would have to say my father. He instilled in me early in life that it's something out there, you go out there and get it, and that I didn't never have to walk in the lane that someone had set for me. For me to always be able to tap into my creativity, to be able to always challenge myself, to always push myself to be educated in everything, not just the simple things of not that they're simple, but the conventional things of school, but actually reading things outside and just having a heart for people, just knowing that you know what we see always is not what truly is someone's reality, and to be able to see, seek to see people from their core, but not just their actions. And it pushed me to work with the young people where they were actually angry, but they felt that they weren't heard. So giving them a voice through literary workshops, it was able to pull things out of them for them to be able to be whole and heal. Writing has been a tool for healing for me, and it just moved into the rest of these things.
Wow. And it is amazing how you found connections through each piece, and even how in reality the publishing company grew into these other pieces,
Yes, ma'am.
and that you allowed that. That's very powerful. Sometimes we talk about focusing, and yes, we do need to focus, because if not, Madeline Gordon told us earlier today, then you'll be shooting at everything and hit nothing. But allowing growth to take place, that's huge. You have to allow it. How comfortable was it for you to grow from one piece to the next?
I think that I was actually already just doing it, but solidifying it as a business, and to actually put myself out there that this is what I'm doing was totally different. I've always wanted to help people in different ways, and I was doing that, but it was just a matter of, just changing it to LF management and women, the heartbeat of the community, to really put, I guess, a name behind it,
Mhm.
and not necessarily my name, but a name behind it.
But sometimes we get to these levels where we're so comfortable that we aren't being what we could be, and it's beautiful to see that, even though you say you were doing it anyway, it was uncomfortable though to go through the task of, okay, now maybe they should be real businesses. Oh, I need to put a name behind it. Do I want to put my name behind it? Do they even need to know it was me? That's that's getting out of that comfort zone. And but we all have to remember that growth is in the place where we stop being comfortable. We stay in the comfort zone. We are limiting our true potential, and we're not really reaching it. So it's great to hear that, yes, I was doing it anyway. Oh, that was the easy part. What it was not easy was now putting a name on it and
Yeah.
finding something.
Yes, because that also takes you to a different level of accountability to what you're doing. You know, when you're doing something quote unquote casually to assist someone, I'm just helping you out. It's okay, and you're gonna do your best. But when you're putting it out there and you're connecting everything to it, because I'm very intentional about who I have become clients or part of the family because you know because it started with my father. It started in my father's memory. So everything that moves forward has to be in integrity and in prayer. So even though it's uncomfortable, look, the stretching is uncomfortable and sometimes it's painful, but it's necessary.
It's necessary. Mm, that's so good. And it is. I mean, even like I think about my son, he is 6'4", 250 pounds, my oldest son. And I remember him being about 13 years old and his legs hurting one day. They were hurting so bad. And he played football and basketball, he ran track. So for your legs to be hurting, that's a problem. And, we go to the doctor and the doctor says, it's just his muscles trying to catch up with his bones because
Wow.
it's growing so rapidly. I remember he went like through 4 or 5 shoe sizes in one summer. And we were like, are you kidding me? We just bought shoes like 2 weeks ago. We learned the lesson quick by 2 pair. Get more than 2 pair. When you grow out of those, then we'll try again. Because he wears like a size 14, 15. He got a big ignorant foot. And so, that growth. And sometimes growth is rapid. We act like we want this rapid growth. We want this rapid change and we want it to happen now. But the reality is, it's going to, you will feel the effects of it. It won't always hurt, but you will always feel the effects of it. And if it goes too quickly, it will be very painful very quickly. And his growth was happening so rapidly. It was so painful because certain parts couldn't catch up with the parts that were making the most growth. So when we are growing into things like growing from a publishing company into a management company, into now this organization that helps all of these women in the community, if certain pieces are growing so fast that the other pieces aren't keeping up with them, then it can become a painful process. And some people will quit in that, but you didn't. You
I
didn't.
didn't.
You didn't.
Because the people around me wouldn't allow it, or not even the people around me. God wasn't allowing it. No matter you could run, and I was running. I was Jonah for a long time. So, but it doesn't matter if people snatching you back and praying you through some things. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm here talking to you now.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you continuously grow. You said that you took my course, and even that was a growth module for you. It was
Yes,
called
ma'am.
Growth Academy, but that was the goal, that something about you, something within you and your leadership would grow. And it's great to hear that you say that you did. But that's something that we all have to do. We all have to keep learning, keep growing, so that we can continuously do and fulfill the purpose that has been placed on our lives.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So as we're thinking about where you are now and where you were, say, 10 years ago, who may or may not have even seen yourself as a leader at all, what would your leader self say to yourself 10 years ago now that maybe would help her on the journey as she's getting to where your place of success is now?
I guess I would say, remember, it's not only for you. What you're doing is not only for you. 10 years ago, I was ready to hang it all up. And, I had a moment of saying, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I need to just go ahead and find me a 9 to 5. And if I write another book, I write another book. Even to this day, people don't even know that, I've written over 10 books. But Dr. Renita, don't roll your eyes. But I would have to say that it's not only for you. Keep on pushing forward and trust God in the process. Like you
Mm,
said, when things happen quickly, you're at the point of like, this hurt too bad. I'm not going to be able to do this. It's not supposed to be like this, you know. So I was going through that painful thing as your son was, and I was just like, I know he wanted to lay down. I wanted to lay down too, but just to keep on going and just trust God and trust the process.
that's so good. But I also like how you said your village wouldn't let you not do certain things. It's beautiful to hear that one, you activate your village, or better yet, your village activates itself.
No comment.
No, but also that means you have established relationships in a way that these people not only see your vision and they see who you are because you show yourself to them, but that they have latched on to that vision, but they have also latched on to you. You have built relationships in a way that is so authentic that even when you don't see certain things, or even when you're ready to give up, your relationships won't allow
Yes, ma'am. I'm not saying much because I'm sure that they're gonna comment on here probably. So I'm just gonna say yes, ma'am, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
it. But that's so important, and I think that sometimes as leaders we forget that one, we can't shoulder it all alone. We can't carry it all by ourselves, especially when it's grown because it's good. Secondly, we need a village, we need relationships, we need other people so that when we reach hard patches or places of roadblocks, they can sometimes even show us the detour that we need to take to get to where we need to be. But then also to when maybe we run out of gas or our battery dies and we need someone to either jumpstart our battery, or like I had to help my husband last night. We don't know what's going on with our van, but it just is not doing right. So they had to come inside, call me so they could push the van so we could get it to where it needed to be. I had to steer it, but it wouldn't move. We had to put it in neutral. I had to steer and they had to push it. But sometimes it's how it is in life. Our battery may die. Our electrical systems may not be working like they need to. Our thoughts may not be propelling us in the way that they need to, but there are other people who already know certain things. They've seen certain things, and we may be in neutral. If we are just willing to steer them or show them certain things, they can then push us to get us there.
Yes, ma'am.
But without those relationships, it won't happen. It won't happen. Not that
Mhm.
it can't happen, it won't happen.
That's true. That was a great leader's motivational pitch right there. I love it. I love it.
As you all can see, this is how we are whenever we talk. I have had the opportunity to work with LaVon since our non-happenstance meeting at a conference a while ago, so over a year or so ago now. Um, and so this is how we are whenever we get together. I'm so happy to be in relationship with her as well as be a part of her village and have her as a part of mine. But it all of that stemmed from us just being us. Um, this broadcast is showing no matter what, no matter what. And it's important that in leadership you do that as well. That you do that as well. Because if you are not leading like you, then I don't know how you would make it through these times. I don't know how you would grow from one thing to the next. LaVon, can you speak to that? What if you couldn't lead like you? What would it be like?
Oh, wow. That has to go back to the 10-year thing. Like with the last few years with the new members to my village, to my fab, that actually got me out of that. Samaj was the only thing that I was leading with as LaVon, besides, looking at my other little cousins. But this is new. No, because it's new. Like besides, through personal relationships, but in life decisions, I wasn't leading as LaVon. I was leading as how the world expected me to go and the path that they wanted me to go on. Like I said, the 10 years ago was totally different. I lived a life as being a martyr and just, in the lack of better words, a martyr and a puppet. LaVon is expected to go to college, get good grades, do X, Y, and Z. So, within the last few years, I've been able to lead as LaVon, and I love it. I love it. I love it because, ultimately, it's just between me and God and which way the next step goes.
Wow. Wow. It's great to hear that you even acknowledge that there was a transition.
Yes.
There was a transition. Well, just know everybody, I am so grateful to LaVon for coming to us today, for sharing with us today, for showing her true heart and who she is. As you can see, she is leading life all the way live. I mean, and now even more so than she did before. She's no longer that martyr. She's no longer that puppet. She is leading as LaVon. And when we can all get to that place, what a different day. What a different day it will be. If you go to www.pathwaystoleadership.com, once again, that's pathwaystoleadership.com, you can get your copy of a free resource called Lead Like You. Lead Like You. If you want to be more like LaVon and who leads like LaVon, this resource, this workbook can help you get there. LaVon, thank you again for coming to us this evening and sharing with us and helping us grow as ladies who lead, as people who lead, for all the males who may be following us out there today. Thank you. Your
Thank you.
story inspires me, and I know it's going to inspire so many others. As far as any information that you want to put out there about the businesses that you mind, please let us know. What is that? How can people get in contact with you?
Okay, you can visit www.samajpublishinginc.com, lfmg360.com, or just follow us on Facebook or Instagram, the same hashtag, same labels.
Awesome sauce. Well, I know it's some ladies who have some books in them that maybe have even written the book and it's been sitting around in their house. You hit LaVon up, everybody, get it done. I can guarantee you she will make the process smooth, easy, effective, and you'll be an author, published author, before you know it. And she'll make sure you get yourself out there because her management group is no joke. And if you're in the New Jersey area and you have some women who need to be contacted, need to have some of that heartbeat attached to them, make sure you contact her, and you all get involved. I've had an opportunity to be involved with some of her young ladies, and it has been a blessing to my life. So thank you. Again, LaVon, thank you everyone who is catching this broadcast, be it live or hashtag replay. Thank you for taking time with us. We will be back tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. with Enisha Garrett. Be ready. Be ready. As you have seen the past two ladies, they have already given us amazingness. They are living life all the way live, leading life all the way live. And we're so grateful. Once again, www.pathwaystoleadership.com for your copy of Lead Like You so that you can lead more like you. I love you, LaVon. Thank you, everyone out there, and have a great day.